What's up, everybody? How's it going today? My name is Jonathan with Cinco Squad. With me are my boys, Mike DeSanto, Grandpa Jay, and John. What's going on, fellas? Happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year.
1 year official.
52. So happy 1 year. It's 1 year ago we started this journey, and look where it's taken us. So a lot of great things to come.
Yep.
How has your week been, boys?
Great.
Longer, good, but I don't know about you guys. It has felt like it has dragged on at times.
Yes.
Yep.
Like it feels like it should be like Saturday already, but it's
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
But other than that, good. Had a very good day today.
Talk to him, Ice Cube. Talk to him, Ice.
Ice in the veins.
All I have to say is this: "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
I'm sure you'll brag about that in a minute here. So.
He's got 6 months worth of talk, Jamie. So we got to be in store for this. So
I tell you what, as much as everybody wants to obviously give the crown to Shohei coming off that win in the WBC, it's not going to be handed over that easily because what a way to start the season.
As Dikembe Mutombo would say, no.
Jay, how's the swim program and how's everything going that way?
We're doing great. We have a meet this weekend. It's a local in South Tampa, so we'll have not our senior kids and not our main crop of our high level swimmers, but it gives all the other swimmers a chance to swim a late championship meet in the season. We kind of start the season over, but it's something to get them excited for in the early season, and some of them are looking forward to it. So we'll be at the pool all weekend.
That's your joy. You eat, breathe, and sleep pool.
I will be leaving the pool as early as possible, as early as I can. Literally, I might tell kids, like, if you don't swim fast enough, I'm not going to be here to watch you because I'm ready for the final.
Are you tired of the smell of chlorine yet?
It's just embedded in his nose. That's what he smells.
That's the thing.
Smell fresh air. I got chlorine.
Yeah.
Well, or is it a saltwater pool?
Yeah.
It's chlorine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It has to be with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really great week for Cinco Squad. We got a lot in store for the next 3 months. So anybody that's tuning in, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and I almost said Shopify, Spotify. So definitely make sure you're tuning in every week. We have a lot of great things coming up in the future and whatnot. But boys, I want to know. What you sipping on, Grandpa Jay?
Well, I'm going in Big John fashion today with my first jug. I got the high quality
H2O.
I've run out of my coconut water supply for now, so until I re-up, you're not going to see me with my classic drink.
I should have sent you the coconut tree that I chopped down in my backyard.
Yeah, that would have juice out of that trunk. Thanks, buddy. That would have helped. Mike, come on now. You know, every week we just want to know what you're sipping on. I know John has a jug of water. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll put mine.
Yeah, John. Do you have your jug? You have your Cinco milk?
And I got a sparkling ice because I feel a little frisky tonight.
What kind?
I don't know. Lemonade, cherry limeade.
Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds good. But you know what else sounds good?
Okay.
Chocolate covered wine.
A Southern Tier Brewing Company special vanilla scoop made with Perry's ice cream.
Oh my goodness. It's not a root beer? What is it?
No, it's like a beer, but it's made with like ice cream.
Come on, bro. It's have to be a root beer float.
Good.
Just two things that shouldn't mix is beer, barley and hops, and ice cream.
I now beg to differ on that, sir. I now beg to differ on that. That's good.
Perfect. So we have a lot in store tonight. We have Idris coming on the show. We have baseball talk. Excited. And, of course, everyone's forgetting about the Final Fours this weekend, boys. Like, come on, man.
About that. Come on now.
But we can't get started without knowing what is Jamie's bet of the week. So, well, Jamie, take it away.
I mean, look, we got to go Final Four, right? It's the last chance that we have to go college basketball. It's amazing what we actually have in front of us here. We have a couple of games that on the surface you're thinking, well, how can UConn lose? UConn's on a roll right now. They're winning by 20 points, 20. Their average victory actually is 23 points per game in the tournament.
That's
kind of ridiculous. So you're thinking to yourself, well, there's no way that Miami has a chance, right? Not so fast, man. Not so fast. So 5.5 Miami. I'm actually loving it. Miami proved that they had a lot of fight in them against Texas. They were outmatched for most of the game. They're a gritty team. They have one of the best coaches in the country. He took George Mason on a magical run. I think that this is going to maybe be the end of their magical run, but they take UConn down to the wire and finally give UConn a game. So I'm going to take the 5.5 from Miami. And then on the other side, of course, everybody knew San Diego State and FAU are going to be playing on that side of the bracket.
I called it.
San Diego's only a 2.5-point favorite. And just because I disrespected FAU as much as I did, they have the most wins in college basketball this year at this point. I'm going with the team that has the most wins in college basketball.
Straight up.
Both underdogs. Nope, I'm taking the 2.5 because they're such a fine team. If they go down, they're going to go down by 1 or 2.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's all they've been doing too.
Yep. 2.5. I'm taking Miami at 2.5, and take me out to the ball game, baby. Take me out to the park. It's baseball.
Whoa, Jay, you all right?
Hold on.
Jay's taking baseball?
Take me out to the ball game, baby. Take me out to the park.
Dear God.
That chlorine's got to your head, man.
So there you go. I love who's on the mound for the Astros against the White Sox on Saturday. All right, we got my main man. You guys have to help me to pronounce his name. Urquidi, help me out with the proper pronunciation here. Urquidi. What's the proper pronunciation?
It's
Urquidi.
It's like
it's Urquidi.
It's like Urquidi.
Urquidi, thank you. Yeah. All right, Urquidi's a beast on the mound. So I'm going to take the Astros. I'm going to take the Rangers at home so the Phillies don't sweep them. And I hate it, but give me Chris Sale on opening weekend any day. I'll take the Sox. So Sox over Orioles. Give me the Rangers over the Phillies. Give me the Astros over the White Sox. Take it or leave it, baby. That's my big 5 for the weekend.
That's crazy. I can't believe that.
What do you mean you can't believe that?
You were doing so well, Jamie, until that last one.
Come on, guys. It's Chris Sale opening weekend. He never loses.
But he hasn't been playing. Huh? But he hasn't been playing.
Right, unless he gets hurt.
First time playing was like
this is his chance. This is his chance to have the comeback he deserves. The guy, unfortunately, has had a bad break. But
I know I don't like the Red Sox, but I do hope he can stay healthy because I never like seeing guys get hurt. Especially last year, he finally came back from all those injuries to face the Yankees, takes a liner, breaks his hand, out for the rest of the year. Yeah, I was like, this guy can't catch a break. I was watching the game, and I'm like, it's against the Yankees, but man, this guy can't catch a break.
Yeah, it's like, is he the Chris Paul of baseball?
Well, his name's Chris, so I mean, it kind of.
I mean, that might be a comparison right there.
So, Jamie's bets of the week is Miami 5.5, taking FAU because he's doubted them the whole season.
No more.
2.5.
John,
he's taking the Astros.
Remember we were
Rangers and Red Sox. What's up?
Sorry to interrupt you there. We should have really gone. Remember we spoke about going to FAU game at one point? I was like, we should really go.
One point in the Sixers, we were just like, let's go. And you're like,
we really should have.
Why would
it would have been so nice?
No, I think it was we were saying let's go to all the let's go to every school in Florida. Yeah. Starting with the Florida Gulf Coast and then going we wish we were around when the high flyers were going of Florida Gulf Coast. Remember that team in the tournament? Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So, Jamie, you taking the Astros, Rangers, and Red Sox straight up, right? Okay. So,
money line.
Let us know if those picks work on you guys. If they do, we get 10%, just so you know.
For watching the
show. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long week, but it's been a great week, and we're so excited for this weekend's Final Four. Going to be a great matchup. My pick of FAU and San Diego State was absolutely right. So, I mean, So, all right, boys.
In the country.
So, boys, who wins it?
So first, let's. I mean, Jamie kind of gave away his, but let's go around and say who makes it first, and then who wins.
So you guys go ahead.
So I'm going FAU, and I'm going Miami. Mike?
Okay. I'm going FAU, and I'm going UConn.
It's going to be San Diego State.
Well, I chose San Diego State and UConn because I said I'll take the points on the other side, meaning I think those teams are going to win. So UConn, San Diego State.
Okay.
Sure. Heavyweight trivia. San Diego State's the only one of the 4 teams left that were in the preseason top 25 at number 19. So it's not like this is a fluke. San Diego State was predicted to be a top 20 team,
right,
which kind of puts them in that Sweet 16 talk at the beginning of the season. So,
right.
Right. Definitely.
But at this point, it is a big accomplishment for the program.
Yes. So, gentlemen, who is our 2023 national champion?
It is. They're coming back to Miami. It's going to be the Hurricanes, and I doubted them all year. And no one liked my dance there, so apparently it was trash. It was Jim Boeheim. I got to go for the Jim Boeheim of the South.
Fair enough. No, that's a fair choice. That's a fair choice. Jamie? Come on, man.
San Diego State. San Diego. Give me the Aztecs, baby. Give me the Aztecs.
Who wouldn't want to live in San Diego? Well, I'm going to have to disagree with both of you. I think we're about to see the most magical run of all. The Owls will fly on and win.
I'm going to that parade. I am going. Jamie, if they win it, we have to go to that parade.
Oh, heck yeah, bro.
We got to go to that parade.
Bro, we'll definitely get on TV and there'll be like 450 students there.
And we'll go live on our Cinco Squad live at FAU.
The Owls will fly on. Every time they've won, what have I said in the group chat, guys? The Owls fly on. They will fly on and win a national championship.
You know what? I'll tell you, honestly, I hope I'm wrong and I hope they beat San Diego State because I'd love to see them in the championship game. I really would.
Well, we got a couple comments from Uncle Mike. So it's been a sin slow week. Yes. That drink catches all the feels.
Yes, it does.
Jesus turned that water into wine.
Working on it, Mikey. Working on it, Uncle Mike.
Cinco Jesus turned that water into wine. He was clarifying. And Helen Keller said she liked my dance. Well, thanks, Uncle Mike. I appreciate it.
Do you get the joke, John?
Yes, I get the joke, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just
not that. I'm slow.
Almost. I thought he was going FAU. He was like, bring it back to Miami.
I actually forgot. I actually had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing with my hands. I went up and I was like, all right, I'm here, so I'll just start flocking.
No, he's John's auditioning for the St. Joseph's Hawk.
So, yeah. John, you have Miami. I have San Diego State. You have FAU. I guarantee you, Idris is taking UConn.
Yeah, definitely. So we got ourselves we got Idris coming on here in about 10-15 minutes, but we got to talk some baseball because I was irate by today because and Jamie, I think this topic will actually, play into your favor because, ultimately, why is baseball the only pro sports league that makes it impossible to watch any of your teams? And I bring this up ultimately because the Yankees own Yes Network, right? And you think, I'm a Yankees fan, I could just purchase it. Nope. You can only purchase it if you have Fubo TV or DirecTV. But even so, I think baseball did a horrible job this year. It's terrible. Jay, what do you think? Because of someone that gets to watch his favorite soccer team in Europe every weekend, how do you feel?
Well, that's thanks to USA Network, which has been a recent deal. But that's more, you see, that plays into America trying to make sure that they're growing a potential market because they're hosting the World Cup. So it's strategic, right? I'm kind of lucky. It was not that easy when I first moved up there. I'd have to go to a bar, or at the time, streaming wasn't as easy 6-7 years ago. So I get it, right? I get how much it sucks. But I've tried to read up on the deals for why it would be exclusive through DirecTV, and I'm not too sure why they went that direction. I felt fortunate growing up as a kid where nobody thinks the Caribbean kid should watch baseball, but I had the Cubs on WGN, the White Sox on WGN, and thanks to Ted Turner, I got to watch some of the best Braves teams
games
ever.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So I got to watch great baseball. So I was like, well, baseball's great because the teams I would get to watch were really good teams. And nobody like a Cubs fan, back then, the desperation for a world championship. So it's just weird to me that they don't make it more available. And it's almost one of two things to me, right? Is it that there's such a streaming market for it that they've just gone in this direction because people aren't tuning in? So they're like, why pay money for TV deals? Or is the sport downtrending where people don't really want to watch baseball and the numbers, and I didn't do enough research on it, the numbers show that nobody really takes the interest until August or September. You know what I mean?
But that's my thing, right? So they're trying to get the average fan. They're trying to speed the game up, make the game more viewable. But how can you view the game? And Uncle Mike says in our comments saying Yankee game is on MLB Network today. Yes, Uncle Mike, only in New York though, because I got the Red Sox and the Orioles down here in Florida. So
yeah, it was regional coverage.
My point is that I used to purchase an MLB subscription, and then all the streaming networks went away. MLB decided to be close knit with it all, and you have to purchase. I looked at the Fubo TV package. It's like $94 a month, $25 more than what I'm paying already. In my head, I'm thinking, like, I'm not going to pay that. Like, it's just, for me, it's just ridiculous because me and Mike are diehard fans. And I think that's why I thought this was such a great topic because of what, you as a soccer fan can watch your favorite soccer team. And
not all the time, though. I mean, remember, it's not Liverpool's
right.
Not every weekend. So
right. But I'm saying it makes it a little bit more easier. And baseball is supposed to be an American pastime, they say. I don't believe that, but it's America's pastime, and I can't watch it. So it's just a little disheartening to see that, opening day used to be 12 to 12 coverage on ESPN. Now it's one game tonight, and I think there's one more after this Astros game. So it's really disheartening, Mike, I know you're a diehard baseball fan, but take yourself out of the diehard and think about the average fan.
No, absolutely. No, it is ridiculous. I mean, so when we were talking about this topic, I agreed that it was a very interesting one because it's three very different perspectives. You've got Jamie, who, from a baseball perspective, you live in Tampa. So the Rays are there.
Yeah.
Like, you get to see the Rays. Like, if you want to watch a Rays game, you can watch a Rays game if you have the opportunity to. John is, a New Yorker that's now in Florida, and oddly enough, I've talked to him about it, and you said that you get more Rays games than you do Marlins games, even though you live in Miami. It's weird.
And I get more a Magic game than I do Heat. My favorite team is the Heat, so right. I can't even. I'm sitting right here about an hour from the stadium, and I can't watch it.
You can't watch it, right? I have the, ability to watch any Yankee game I want because I still live in New York. Yet, yes, is a regional channel. It comes with basic cable. Like we just get yes. So it's not anything I have to worry about. So we're in three different perspectives, and I was thinking more about it, and I realized if you really think about it, outside of some conferences in college and 2-3 programs in college, the MLB is the only major sports league who has a majority of its TV rights owned by specific teams. The Yankees have Yes Network. The Red Sox have NESN. The Orioles, and I think a few Nationals games are on MASN. They have Fox Sports LA that specifically caters to the Angels and Dodgers.
Bally Sports is everywhere now.
Right.
So, like, I agree. I see where you're going with this. It's weird how they don't have their own.
They've allowed the teams to deal with their own TV rights, and then they deal with just the league office deals with just primetime, whether it be games on MLB Network, which is still regional coverage a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Regional coverage. Like Baltimore is only a few hundred miles closer to you than New York is.
Yeah.
And Boston's even further. But and they deal with the ESPNs and then the playoffs, TBS and Fox and all that. But besides that, the teams really have and Jamie, the White Sox and Cubs still have WGN. or Marquee. It's Marquee.
Marquee.
Now.
Yeah, it's Marquee.
But still, it's the same.
Yeah.
New brand, same flavor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it occurred to me.
And the Braves are still on Ted Turner's network too,
right?
right?
Yeah, the Braves
They'll always
are
be on there, yeah.
I mean, Ernie Johnson started as a Braves announcer.
Yep.
Well, to your point, Mike, and yes, all those MLB teams do have those networks. But I was just talking to Mr. Cinco Trey, and he's in Cleveland, does not have cable, and cannot watch the Guardians.
Right.
So it's not even if you're in the city anymore. Like Uncle Mike said, I used to get MLB Network games when I was in New York, when I used to get that, but I was streaming. You can't even stream it anymore when you're in the city. Because remember last year, I was in there for Aaron Judge's 62nd, and I didn't see it. I watched it on Gamecast. So my thing for the MLB is, how is this helping grow a viewership, especially one like Mr. Cinco and yourself, Jamie? Like if you went to streaming networks, you wouldn't get the Rays.
Correct, because I have a basic cable package.
Correct.
That's the Sunshine, not Sunshine Network. I'm trying to remember the. Anyway, it's a local network.
But yeah.
But here's the thing: is like hockey has grown more as I think baseball's fourth or fifth in a professional sports in liking, and I think the reason why is just accessibility. More people. I'm just saying off my own opinion. I think.
So then the other four ahead would be.
So it'd be NFL is one, I think, just
NBA.
off NBA, NHL,
college football before
college football, and then
College basketball.
And then so probably fifth or so. I say NHL because of the accessibility now. You can if you have a Disney Plus account, you can go and get yourself you can watch your team. I've watched about 20 Red Wings games. That's more than I've ever watched in my lifetime because I couldn't watch them before.
It's accessible to you now.
So right now, like it's really frustrating as a fan. And like Mr. Cinco said, I'm a fan of the Guardians, but I can't watch them, and they're 10 minutes down the road from me.
Right. So you also have to look at the value of like how many people no longer even subscribe to local cable, right? Most
exactly.
Streaming as well. So then teams don't see the value, or networks don't see the value of saying, yes, I'll buy out this right because we're going to have so many people in the local area tuning in, which becomes an attractable marketing tool for them because so many other local businesses are like, heck yeah, we want to be on your network every night between, you guys do this for a living, between 7 and 9 p.m. because that's when you're playing most games, and we see the value of that because of the viewership and the numbers. It's just not there anymore. So maybe that's also a reason why it's become so complicated, and it's not as easy as just being on these, cable networks, as opposed to having to be nationally syndicated games on ESPN twice a week.
You're right. I mean, like the amount of cord cutters in this country is more than people think. If you think one in every, like Mike, like you're. My parents are the old school brand that way. They had the streaming, but they were like, no, I don't want to. I want to be able to select my channel. For us, our generation is going to eliminate probably cable companies because we're just so used to streaming and whatnot. So it's a very annoying thing. And I think that baseball needs to do better. They want to grow the viewership. The only way you can grow the viewership is having accessible games to watch. I would have watched the Yankees game this afternoon. I couldn't. I tried everywhere, but I wasn't going to sign up for $94 a month to potentially get it, right? So,
maybe, right.
And I like one of the teams that is like the Cowboys of baseball, right? Where they're always on.
Right.
But like a team like, let's just say, a Mariners fan, an Athletics fan, Texas Rangers fan, those people are probably like pissed because they can't watch it and they're not willing to spend the money on that. So I think it's interesting in that case.
The MLB has essentially said, if you do not root for a big market team or a team that has its own network or is partnered with its own network, you're shit out of luck. Oh, well, sorry.
And I think that's where they're missing a lot of people. And Jamie, you're able to watch the Rays, and I know that like baseball is maybe not high on your list of sports that you like, but I mean, I thought this was, something that you could speak on because I'm like, my friend Jamie can watch his favorite soccer team, not every time, but like he gets a more of an opportunity than I do get to watch the Yankees now.
Right.
So
It's Bally Sports Sun Network here. That's what it is locally. The Bally Network for the Rays.
Yeah, and that's
They do a
technically
great
what the
job.
Rays
They
are.
do a great job with the coverage. You know, the thing that never looks attractive from a entertainment standpoint is that the stadium is just non-appealing when you put it on TV.
yes,
right?
it's in a terrible location. That's
Doesn't
why.
have the lure. There's nobody in the stands. There's nothing sexy about it. There's no city backdrop. There's no water backdrop. And you think of Tampa, and you're like, why can't a deal get done, right? And the owner gets so much flack. Listen to a lot of local radio here, and people are always calling baseball season, and they're just dragging the owner down and say he doesn't want to do this and he doesn't want to do that. Before he came to town, the Rays were a very poorly run team, and now the Rays being one of the probably fifth smallest market teams in the game
To be
are
successful.
consistently competing to win the AL
Right.
East. That is incredible how they turn things around. So I don't think people give him enough credit for that. And you can watch every game on TV locally. So they're trying to grow the sport the best they can because nobody wants to go across the bridge that's not living in St. Pete. And not too many St. Pete people are big sports people. They're just not. That's why they're trying to do a great job of moving the stadium. I mean, they're active people, but they've showed they don't really care too much to support the team.
Right.
And they put it in a perfect spot because where Trop is, for all of us that don't know, is it's a nice little strip there there's a nice bar right there. There's a nice bars and restaurants down there. So it's not like it's in a bad area. It's pretty right in the middle of downtown of St. Pete, but it's just not. It doesn't get they don't even open up the third deck. They didn't even open up for the playoffs. So it's pretty crappy in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Agreed.
But boys, before we bring Idris out, we have a special announcement here for everyone tuning in. Thanks to Grandpa Jay, Brian, and the sports bar that is going to allow us. We are going to be going to Maloney's local Irish pub on draft night,
Yes, sir.
live in person. On 4/27/2023. Like I said, thank you to Grandpa Jay for solidifying this.
That's in Tampa, guys. That's right here locally in Tampa.
So if you're in Tampa, come on out. If you're not, fly down, drive down, bus down, bike down. I don't give a shit. Come on down.
However you can get there, get there.
For everyone that's in Tampa, we'll be having a ton of giveaways and great opportunities to engage with us and everything like that. But definitely shout out, special announcement, draft night at Maloney's local Irish pub in Carrollwood on 4/27/23. Check out our socials here on the bottom, and we'll be able to provide updates over the next month. So definitely shout out to Maloney's and local Irish pub and Grandpa Jay for getting this all locked in. Appreciate you, Jay.
Man. One of my brothers is one of the owners, Mr. Brian Fife. One of my really good friends as well runs it, Mr. Tony. So we have a good time out there. It's going to be a big step for us. We're excited for it. This is something where we've been talking about doing it for a while, and that's the power of putting things into existence. You got to speak your future and manifest it. So I think we've done a great job at that. So it's a team effort. So team high five.
High five. All right, Cinco 5.
Well,
boys, let's bring on Mr. Idris. That was a good way to segue, right? We're bringing on.
Right. No.
Well, everyone, you remember Idris? He's back. The season's over with, and he's back with us. Let's bring him on. What's going on, Idris?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Return of Idris.
How's the end of the season been for you?
Man, it was good. It was good, man. We had some bumps in the roads, but we made a showing down there in Fort Lauderdale. You know, it was a great season, though, man. This was a great group of guys, man. We ended up losing to Nova Southeastern, but they ended up winning the national championship. So
did they really?
Yeah, that's a further in our cap. You can say that you lost to the national champions, you know?
Yeah, man, that's awesome. When I went up and I actually went up there and saw you play and your team play, and it was like it got me back into like the Banas like vibe. Like I was like, oh, hype for the game, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah, but I peep you was into it.
I was into it. I was like, I was talking to your old coach, and I was like, damn, how they call that a foul? And he's like, damn, you're into this. Like, are you a dedicated fan?
It was funny too because when I talked to him after, he was like, yeah, I was talking to him during the game, so he was turned up.
Yeah.
It was very fun, but yeah, great to have you back on, brother. It's always a pleasure. Definitely. How did the season turn out to what you thought it was going to turn out when you started?
Yeah. No, we just had, like I said, it was a great group of guys. They're in the gym, man, and it was a lot of the early work that gave me that notion that they were going to work at it. The returners mainly. We were returning a grad student who was our leading scorer, Mike Zebatakis. So having him back was real huge, and then we had Jalen Sasser, who was a senior. So we knew we had guys we could depend on, and then those supporting role guys that were coming in. We had two or three JUCO transfers.
Wow.
So we got the recruits that we wanted. We went out and hit the road. Coach AY and Coach Moore, they did their due diligence, and once everybody got on campus, we were on the floor with them from day one. And that was something that kind of opened my eyes at being my second year. My first year was a little getting used to, learning how to communicate to guys. I think we had spoke about that too, communication, and that was something that I was learning. But this year, these guys really bought in, and then the chemistry was there. Chemistry, seeing it early, even through our losses. We saw some things that opened our eyes, and they learned from it, man, and they put it together. Like we went to the championship in the GSC championship. We lost by 3. That could have been a championship for us, but we ended up getting the at-large bid, and not our season not coming to an end. So they took it upon themselves, and we actually faced Lee University in the first round, and we hadn't beat them this year. So that was really huge. That was a big time win for us.
Yeah, I noticed that on the schedule before I got there. I looked up the schedule. I know that was it was like one of those things like they say in football. The third time you guys got them, but they got them where it meant the most. So that was awesome.
They was licking their chops for that one.
Yeah, they were kind of like baffled on the sideline. They were like, "Damn, what are we like? Who is this team?" So definitely.
For sure.
Hey, Idris, so let me ask you a little bit about the makeup of your team, right? Because you kind of know that college basketball it's a whole new, it's like a new era, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost set up like 1-year contracts, you could say, because you're never guaranteed that a kid is going to commit to you because you don't know who's knocking at his door at any given time either, right? And people are always trying to catch that big fish for their program. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the landscape of how it works with your team in D2. And the name you mentioned as your top scorer, is he European? And is that one of the routes you guys go where you open up to European basketballers? And do you see that happening in D2 where there's that sort of player coming from Europe and kind of taking that first step through D2 before they get to D1?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. So Mike is actually, his family's originally from Greece, I believe, but he's actually a Georgia kid. So he was actually here 4 or 5 years. So everything that Coach Moore built this program on, he's seen, and he was just a guy. Actually, he was a walk-on when he came in.
Nice.
The guys that we have that are overseas, we only had one actually. His name was Tommaso Gini. He's from Italy, but he ended up doing time. I think he did 1 or 2 years down at IMG. So we definitely don't go over the water to get kids right away. It's kids that are here in the States. The route that we usually take right now, which has shown some promise, is going the JUCO route, going to get guys that have experience and that can come in and have impact right away. And that's really where we had our bread and butter recruiting last summer. Was Zadie Jackson came in to be our starting point guard, and he did a great job. He didn't get any all conference, but he was one of the best guards in the league, and that's what we needed. He was actually at Snead State. He did 1 year at Morehouse, and then he did a year at Snead State. So I don't even think the Morehouse year counts because it was COVID. So he actually has years left. I think he has 2 more years left.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So those are guys that we're going to depend on moving forward. I don't think the JUCO route I don't think it's a bad approach. I think it's the best approach at the Division II level, especially if you're losing seniors. So in our case this year, we're losing seniors. So we need guys that can come in and have an impact right away. And to your point, like the 1 year situation, like there's guys that you can say, yo, you're a great player at this level, right? This is a level that's for you. You're producing at a high level, and you never know who's going to come knocking saying, hey, we got an opportunity for you, So it's essential that you have those conversations with your players once the season ends. This is the plan we have for you. What do you feel we could have done different? You know, and you know, to the players' credit, they did everything this year. You know, we helped them out obviously with the scouting and the preparation on that end, but them fighting through the ups and downs and seeing that chemistry come through, as I spoke about, is something that we got to give them their credit, especially in their meetings. So, you know, just emphasizing that we had a great season and that, you know, this is if it is a level that you're good at, that you can produce at and be successful to reach your potential. Those are things that I personally tell them right away. Like, this is a good level for you, you know, or this is what you need to do better in order to be an all conference player. Because and that's not even to the fact that somebody may come knocking on their door. You know, if someone does, then it gives it, okay, look, like, where do you see yourself there? What do you see yourself doing? Because we want to make it clear that we paint that picture for them, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I mean, you playing at the Division I level, Coach Moore coaching at the Division I level, you guys know what it takes. You know what the work ethic is. So I think that's important that, you know, that they know that. What's been the biggest, you know, in college basketball, the landscape, and sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off if I did. But in the college basketball landscape, there's been a lot of different topics, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Is you know, has the NIL in transfer portal kind of ruined college basketball? Number one, and part two is, do you think there should be kind of stricter stipulations on it?
That's a good question. I've been looking into it a little deeper than I have in the past. And I always think about, well, damn, what if this was around when I was playing? I try to stay out of that mindset, but
Idris.
I personally think, hey, a Burton burger with MP3 on it.
There you go.
I ain't gonna talk about it, but nah. I don't think it's ruining it like as a whole. But I do think there has to be stipulations regarding the mid-major and low-major levels, because it's making it difficult for them to hit the road and recruit. You know, especially if players enter the transfer portal and they have, for instance, say a Syracuse, or they have a Georgia Tech, right? Those ACC, SEC, those Power 5 schools, you know, they have enough to go get NIL deals. And I don't know what the regulations are right now, but in regards to just those talks, like, those are professional contract talks. Guys aren't going to turn down that to go to, you know, a St. Bonaventure. You know, those are things that I think that it is hurting, but in the sense of the players getting what they deserve. You know, if their talent is capable of getting them those earnings, I do think that it's something that should be, you know, ineffective. And with the regulations statewide, you know, I think there has to be more of a nationwide regulation and laws and how they're going to do that on that end. I think the government has to have something that is more, I would say, common across the board. I know it's going to be a lot of things different. Like, California is different than everybody else. They let high school players do it early. Like, with Bronny being one of the highest NIL earners, like, that's great and all, but at the end of the day, it's like players that are working their ass off every single day that may not get a Power 5 are still NBA prospects. Like, that is where again, that's why I say it doesn't hurt it wholly, but I know that those players still have a chance, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Final Four right now. I mean, you're seeing guys that, like, this Final Four, I'm looking at guys, I'm like, he could probably play in the league. Like, and they're playing at FAU, and San Diego State's been a big program over the last 15, 20 years, but you know, they're not, like you said, a Power 5.
Yeah.
But you know, that was the team. If any team got hurt the most in COVID year, San Diego State was fitting to do some damage in the tournament, because they were probably, them and Kansas were kind of on a collision course.
Or Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton.
Oh my God,
too.
that Dayton.
But I mean, it's like they had their moment, and you kind of think bittersweet. The program kind of suffers from having that. You stole one from us, so it's kind of nice to see that they brought themselves back, because sometimes I could hurt a program enough to be like, this would have been our year. It's nice to see the thinking in that program is like, hey, we can compete. It doesn't matter where we play. Just put us on a court. We know we have the right personnel. And like you said, that grew a lot from getting the right players to come into the system, which is another question I have here. And now going into year 2, now how tough is the conversation to have when the player doesn't fit your system?
Whew, man, it really comes down to, like, are they working at it? You know, like me being a player that wasn't the top scorer on my team, you know, just knowing exactly what we need to win. I'm grateful to have that understanding of the game. So, you know, initially, my first question is, do you feel like you're working at it? Whether they fit the system or not, you know, if they're actually trying to perfect their craft and be the best they can be, then I want to just make sure that they understand it, or if they know that they've been putting in that work. Now, if they don't fit the system and they're working their ass off, it literally comes down to this just isn't the place for you.
Right.
Whether it means they're not playing and someone's in front of them, or they are playing and they just weren't producing. You know, you really just hit the nail on the head with your contact and communicating to them like this was the reason why, and when we have to go in another way. But I mean, obviously, I'm not a head coach yet, but I think that, you know, when you're having that conversation, you have to let players know exactly if you support them in that decision. You know, if they say, hey, coach, I agree with you, I want to go somewhere else, then you support them in that, you know, and if they need help and assistance to go somewhere else, you know, that's the next conversation I think is important to have for sure.
And then from the other aspect, how hard is it? Like, have you had somebody come up and have some doubts and be like, hey, I don't know if this is the right place. And you're like, man, we need you. Like, have you had any of those situations?
I haven't seen that actually. But in that sense though, if it's young guys, there's young guys that want to pull the trigger and going into the portal. Like, I've experienced that actually, not to name drop, but a couple of guys that I played with at Bonaventure, they were young guys who were on championship teams that left early. You know, you were a starter as a freshman. Yeah. You could have had a great career and we would have needed you. But for you to pull that trigger and go somewhere else, it becomes a thing of like, whatever that, I don't know what that conversation was, but whatever that conversation was, like, this is why I'm leaving. It just goes like, okay, I got to let you do your thing. Like, that's really what it comes down to.
You know what they say, the grass is greener where you water it.
Where you water it. Facts. Yeah. Nah, that's facts. Yeah. For sure.
You mentioned that you're not a head coach yet.
Yeah.
So one of my questions I actually had for you was, what do you see your future in coaching as? Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Yeah, man. Whoo, damn, Mike, that's tough. Hey, 10 years, I'm shooting for the professional level. I say a professional, and I'm not shooting low, but I'm gonna say assistant coach at the professional level right now.
That'd be awesome.
And that can be with head coach experience already.
There you go.
That's something that I really want to do. In the sense of just being able to have that experience, one. But be able to perfect my craft and learn the game on a deeper level. I've been able to, you know, play for great coaches, coach with great coaches. So right. I do see myself down the line, like 10 years, like being able to say, okay, I went to the D2 level. I experienced the Division I level. Like, let's keep going with it for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. And I think you can do it. So
I appreciate
Can't wait
that.
to.
That's a great question.
Can't wait.
So now, is there some place in mind where you're like, I would love to work under this coach or in this system? Like, is there somewhere that, like, when you think of it instantly, you're like, yes, like, no matter what, I don't care what you give me, I'll be the guy that helps you guys set up the layup line. Just let me be under your system so I get to learn under you. Is there somebody like that where you really feel you'll learn an incredible amount of knowledge that would help catapult your career in that direction?
Go to North Carolina.
Sure.
So you say at the college level?
At any level. I mean,
any
like
level?
If you could pull the trigger at any level. Okay, how about this? Say college level and NBA if you have two in mind.
Two in mind. Each system. All right. So at the professional level, I'm gonna say Greg Popovich.
Of course.
Nice.
Just because I know it's a long line of legacy, but learning as well. Guys that have actually, you know, taken from it. But I'm gonna say Darvin Ham is too, just because he's somebody that got put in a position to take a franchise, and I'm saying to the next level because a lot of people don't see that for the Lakers. Yeah. You know, he has to actually put together a plan and execute it at a high level in order for that to happen. It doesn't having LeBron, having AD, like those things are great, but I know if I was to be under him and see what he's doing to execute that, I know I'd benefit a lot. And that's not just being a Lakers fan. Like, I've thought about that. But at the college level, I'm going to just go program-wise just because it's always been a dream is to coach at University of Southern California.
Nice.
To be, I wasn't able to play in the Pac-12. I wasn't able to play on the West Coast. My people was originally from the West Coast, but that's just something I see myself. I don't care who's on staff. Like, let's get it. We're trying to get dubs. Like, it don't matter. Like, just having that, being able to be a part of that program would be something that would just motivate me like no other.
Well, who would be proud of you to say it? Give me the Conference of Champions any day, anytime. Greatest ever. But you said the wrong school.
Right. The mountains of Oregon.
You know what name? You know what name I thought you may have dropped there because he's the only person since Coach K did it to win back-to-back was Billy Donovan. I thought maybe that may have been a name you may have considered.
Wow.
Because he's had more success than any coach who's not retired right now at the college level. And then another name not getting any credit is Mike Brown out in Sacramento.
Yeah, they just clinked the playoffs.
Some love, man.
They just clinked the playoffs.
That's a fact. No, it's interesting you say Billy Donovan too, because at the college level, I was definitely gonna mention the head coach that was at Providence. I just went to Georgetown, but Billy Donovan is a Providence native. He played at Providence, and that was something that I was gonna say. But Billy Donovan is a legend, man.
Under Ricky P. Yes, sir. I have some love for Rick Pitino, even though he went to Louisville and betrayed my heart. But I still
Hubert Davis.
Billy Donovan down. I gotta do my due diligence now.
Hubert Davis. Hubert Dave. No.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, that I've seen, out of you personally is like, from like when I got the Bonas, is that you're able to work hard on and off the court, and you're able to show a player like you said, there's one way to do basketball and there's another way. I can do both. Like you could score the ball if you wanted to, but if you're asked about, hey, I need you to grab 10 boards a game. That's all I need you to do.
Right.
And maybe get some points. And I think that's something that is definitely going to, catapult you to the next level.
Wow.
But currently,
right.
Where do you see yourself next year? Like, are you staying with UWG? Are you going on to somewhere else or?
So I haven't been able to really sit on whether I'm gonna stay here or not because I haven't had any talks about a position or, further than that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stay in coaching. I definitely need to have more conversations regarding what levels. I have been looking at the D2 level. I'm considering D2 levels, but I do want to go to the Division I level. But I mean, that's where my passion is, man. And my passion is definitely in the player development area, working with the players, being on court.
Yeah.
And not only with the basketball, but I'm really taking a stance on the mental health aspect. Not just telling them we're here for them, but being able to have those conversations and inputting it into their schedules. I don't think that, and I don't say this to be, hard on programs, but I don't think that it's enough. It's in being inputted into the player's schedule that this is something you should show up to, whether you need it or not, whether it's a yoga, whether it's a sound bath, whether it's a massage, like at the Division II level, at the Division I level, at any level, right? I think that there has to be something in place. I know it comes down to funding, but there's something that has to be in place to put into an athlete's schedule so that it's not that they're putting someone else on their time. Right. You go to a counselor that's on the university's campus. I understand that everyone's time is equal, but they have to attend certain things or they can't go to school, So, be it that if it could be more, say, yoga teachers that are working with the basketball teams, having, a yoga teacher that's also a therapist come and work with them. And then, giving them the opportunity to be more comfortable and say, you know what, I have to do this every day. And let me see if I can bring this to the table or see if I'm dealing with this. I think that that's a conversation that doesn't happen enough when it comes to a player playing bad, a player dealing with something, a player not playing, being able to ask them how's their mental, because it's hard to be a good player that's not playing. I don't care what sport you're playing, That's something that I know that players are dealing with. So, I did want to just bring that up because that's something that, as I move forward, I want to, put on the forefront, no matter what it is, no matter what position I have, whether I'm player development, basketball operations, it doesn't matter. If I'm a part of a program, I want to be able to have that relationship the best I can.
That's a great answer. I love your
really awesome.
I love that. And we talk a lot to our young athletes about that, and that's being okay with being vulnerable. because we're all at different places in our life where if we can lean on each other through our vulnerabilities, you may not have that professional yet you can lean out to, but you have a group of people that understand that everybody's going through something and it's okay to be vulnerable about it. And I love the idea that you're trying to kind of set this up as like, hey, this is part of the program. Like, this is not an extracurricular. Maybe you should show up to this. Because I think it's something that's undermined in almost every sport. We've seen Kevin Love come to the forefront with his mental health issues. One of the best swimmers on the planet just came out and he's ducked out of his national championships and said, hey, I'm not going to go to the world championships for England this year. I need some time off because I'm not in a good headspace. We see it in so many sports that athletes take so long to get there, like deep into their professional career, because they didn't groom them early enough to make them think. You don't go when the problem has hit so deep that you feel like the weight of the world on your shoulders. You go when it still feels like it's a chip on your shoulders, not the whole world, because you're strong enough to handle it. You shouldn't be feeling these things. No, the vulnerability is what counts. So I love your ideas. I hope you can implement that in your program and kind of be instrumental for other programs and be a leader for that in your division and conference and really be a front end person for that. That'd be awesome to see how that grows.
I think that's huge. I think it's big, especially with, we saw Simone Biles back out of the Olympics. We saw, Lane Johnson take a season off in the NFL. He's a 6'6", 350-pound lineman. And you're supposed to think, oh, that guy's big and tough and he's everything. And it's like he was dealing with depression like every season. And, I think I agree with you, Jamie and Idris, on that, because that's something that we don't – because we come from the era of, you just suck it up, be a man, be tough. And it's like, okay, there's certain parts where you do that, but there's also certain parts where is there something really going on? Like, what's going on with you?
Right.
And I think that's, important. And that, I think wherever you go and whatever you do, I definitely take that mentality with you, because I think that's going to be crucial, in my opinion.
Nah, for sure, man. It's important, man. And the thing about it too is, I do want to mention it's not on the men's side. It's the same thing on the women's side.
Correct.
That's the pushing further. Be it that I like how they're doing it now with the women's tournament being around the same time. That's really huge. I think in regards to them selling more tickets and it being, now people can step forward and want to help them in that sense as well. So it goes right into it.
Agreed.
Oh, 100%. So in the past, we've talked about your experiences playing at the highest level at St. Bonaventure, where we know you from, and being able to make pushes for championships and play in like the biggest games possible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, how have your experiences of pushing towards a championship compared between being a player and now that you're a couple of years in being a coach?
Wow, that's a great question, man. First I will be able to identify the problem, what you lack. That was probably my biggest challenge, being able to identify that, because as a player, I feel like it's easier to identify it specifically for me personally, but as a coach, that was something that I've been able to, that I struggle with to begin with, because if it's a player, for instance, a player that doesn't score the ball well, you have to be able to let them know that we need you to score, whether you are getting the loose balls or, crashing the glass, like those things help, but we need you to score. Right. And a lot of the times, if that's something that's not happening, I do think that, the chemistry along the coaching staff for sure, but as the players, it has to be communicated. And that's been my biggest thing, is just letting them know you guys just have to talk to each other. You guys have to talk to each other, because you guys will figure out the problem. A lot of times I could get ahead of myself where I'm trying to figure everything out myself, but it's like, you guys are the ones on the floor. So if you guys talk to each other through the ups and downs, and sometimes we had challenges. The challenges that I spoke of for this season was we were lacking communication. We were winning games, but we were lacking communication. And so that being our talking points in our film sessions, in our practices, carried over. So for me personally, I took a back seat, and I had to, look myself in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to be able to communicate to them even when we're winning. You guys have to huddle, you guys have to be able to, run and pick each other up. Those are things that, it nips those little things in the butt, so that was probably my biggest challenge coming from being a player, pushing for a championship and knowing what we need to win, and then being a coach now and saying, you know what, this is how I have to communicate to this player. This is what we need from you. You know, you only got 5 rebounds. There's 10 minutes left. Go get 10. You know, those are things that I've been able to kind of dissect and get better at.
Most definitely. And I got 2 more questions. First of all, who's winning the national championship?
Hey, Jamie hit it on the head. I got UConn.
Do it.
Ain't nobody running with them. It's crazy. You know, they do got 3 players that's fasting for Ramadan, so I want to send my shout outs to those brothers. You know,
that's impressive in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's
you know what I'm saying. they fasting since the Sweet 16, I believe, and they're running the table. Like Bulal Gonzaga, like they're handling business, but they're actually pushing the pace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're at a championship. They're at a national championship pace. And not to say that anybody else isn't, but like they're for sure at a national championship.
Yeah, I mean. I always find it funny because I can't go like a half hour without eating. 3 weeks. They would look, Jamie and Mike, and you guys would look at me like, "What the hell is good? What's wrong with him?"
Something seriously wrong with John is not eating.
But I give them a lot of credit and praise on that. My second question is: you played in an NCAA tournament game, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You played 2 actually. One in Dayton and one in Dallas, I think.
In Dallas.
What was that like? I want to like get your full experience from like time you landed in Dayton to Dallas, because I always got that block of you blocking the Florida dude.
Yeah. Nah, you know what's crazy? I recently had watched that. Obviously, you know, seeing that clip. But to answer your question, man. So touching down in Dayton, obviously we were in the play-in. You know, we were in the first 4. That was an experience in itself because, you know, everyone's watching you. Like there's no other games going on. Like everybody's watching that first 4. And then to be at that, not even to the case of who we were playing against, but where we were playing. You know, we were at Dayton. We knew we've been there plenty of times.
Yep.
We know what that environment can be like, whether it's against Dayton or anybody else. That's a great arena. You know, that's a great atmosphere. So we were more excited just for that. You know, we weren't anywhere we hadn't been. So we were extra comfortable and more motivated in that sense. But to the game itself, getting that dub and that turnaround was like quick as hell. Like that turnaround felt like I had gotten a ring and I fought 10 rounds. Now you ask me to get on a 3 a.m. jet to Dallas, and then we got 1 day to prepare for the University of Florida. Like, all right, like that, like we could do it. At the same time, where my gas at? Like, I ain't
right.
You know, so it was a great experience though overall, man.
Yeah.
It pushes you in so many different ways, and that intensity level you dream about. You know, you dream about that intensity level. But it was an experience that I can talk about it for days and try to put it into words, but more so just having my peoples there, my family and friends, and them being able to have their experience was one of the biggest things as well. Like it wasn't really even, it was just to see the reaction on their face, you know, because you like during the season, we would play like 30 some odd games. So you don't realize that, okay, we coming to the end. We don't know when, you don't know when it's going to end. So, you know, seeing your peoples come along, and because they obviously don't travel with us every game, you go to most of the games by yourself, and then being able to say, all right, we're going to meet you in Dallas. It's like, damn, I feel like I'm in the league. Like, you want to fly to Dallas, I'll meet you there. Like that was something that was really huge. But man, it was a great experience. Winning a game in it first off, and being able to get that experience in Dallas playing Florida, and just seeing the fan base, bro. Like,
oh yeah, they traveled well. I mean, like Woj helped out with that. Like there was like, I remember because I was in Florida at the time, and I remember getting like updates like, oh, we got like 3 busfuls, we got 4 busfuls. I'm like, God damn, like
that was the joint for me. And to be honest, I don't really pay attention to a lot of the logistics. It's just stuff like I just be in my zone, but like I had to check out. I had to be in that moment, and I'm happy that I did, man. I was able to kind of just sit back and be like, all right.
Like, take it in. Like, take it in a little bit.
I had to take it in, and I'm so happy. I think about that often. And honestly, it was on the jet, because after we won, it was late, and I couldn't sleep because I'm like, damn, like I can't really rest. But I had to kind of just take it in it was random people on the jet with us. Like, I'm taking it. I'm like, nah, bro. This like,
and you guys beat your rival, your favorite rival team too. So beat UCLA that game. So
yeah.
that must have been sweet. But like, all right, yeah.
You know, you gotta
even though I play for Bondas, I rep that gold and red.
flex a little bit. Man, shout out to my boys, man.
Yeah. So I remember I was like, damn. I was like, I wish I was a beat writer at the time.
Right.
I was texting Mike the whole time. I was like, damn, I wish I was a beat writer, man. This would have been electric. I would have been a day in Dallas. But definitely. Well, Idris, I think it's time for our signature, and I told you to get ready. We ain't gonna go light on you this time. We got Stump the Squad.
Let's do this.
Jay on this. Jay, go ahead and
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We got Coach Idris here with us, special edition of Cinco Squad. So it's a special edition of Stump the Squad. You know how we do it. We know everything in sports, but we just get it wrong to make you guys feel good about yourselves. 2 points for every question. Person that has the most points at the end of Stump the Squad gets the rant of the week. You're looking at defending champ right here. I'm going to let the champ of all champs of Stump the Squad take us away first. Mr. Mike Pisano, what is your question first?
Well, 20. It's 20. Yeah. So, coming to the end of March Madness, boys, which means I got to give you one more March Madness question, and it's a simple one. See if you can get it. What year was the term March Madness first coined?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Boom, I saw this earlier too.
A, 1977. B, 1982. C, 1987. Or D, 1996.
I know who it was too.
That was my fun fact for after the answer, yes.
Is it you said 1977, 1987?
I said 77, 82, 87, or 96.
I'm gonna say 87.
I'm going 87 too. No. I'm gonna go 96.
Okay, so John says 87. Idris says 96.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 96.
Jamie?
The tournament format changed a lot. I think in the mid 80s when it started to shift. So let's go with 80. I don't know why. 82 is my birthday year. I know I'm going to get it wrong, but you know what? I'm going with my birthday year. 82.
So John says 87. Idris says 96. Jamie says 82. Gentlemen, I have successfully stumped.
Damn.
John and Idris.
Oh,
it is 1982. It is 1982.
Can I say who it was?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was Brent Musburger.
Yes, it was.
Brent Musburger.
One
of the greatest of his craft.
What year did Jordan and them win it? What year did they beat Maryland?
84 or 83?
No, he was in the 80. No, he's in the 84 draft, so 83.
So it was an 85 draft, I thought, so 84.
Yeah, it was his junior year, so it was 83.
That's what I was trying to think. That's what came to mind. Like, was that a March Madness? But I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good one.
All right, Mike, who's next?
Well, for getting it right, I will give it back to Jamie.
Oh, thank you very much.
Idris, we're just gonna go Jamie and Mike all the time. I can't.
Hot potato.
Yeah, really. We're just gonna be sitting here like, damn.
Throw it back to you. So guess what? I'm going with a baseball question.
Are you okay, bro?
I'm okay tonight.
What is happening?
Your picks are baseball. Damn.
Baseball day for me. So this one might be easy for you guys, but let's see if you get stumped. So, which program has the most? I mean, which university program has the most former players on this year's opening day rosters? So, which university program has the most former players right now on today's opening rosters or the MLB opening rosters for the 2023 opening games? Is it LSU? Is it Ole Miss? Is it Florida? Or is it Oklahoma?
LSU.
Which baseball program out of these four universities has the most former players on 2023 MLB opening day rosters? Ole Miss, LSU, Florida, or Oklahoma?
I was waiting for Vandy to be an option. Usually Vandy's an option.
I couldn't.
I know.
I was waiting. Yeah,
them or Texas. I was like, come on.
Right. Like right. It's usually Vandy or Texas.
I'm saying LSU.
I'm
so
going
LSU,
Oklahoma.
Ole Miss,
Florida,
and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go
See,
Oklahoma.
Alonso's from Florida. Bregman's from LSU.
You gotta get a timer for
I
Mike.
know.
You shouldn't have gone baseball.
I know his
Damn it.
baseball brain is hating. His baseball brain is
It's
hating.
more
He
like
doesn't
this.
know it off the top right now.
His
Yeah,
brain's going like that, like around the goddamn.
It's the
My
gif
eyes
of Zach
closed.
Galifianakis with the math. You know what? I'm gonna go with one of those weird feelings I get sometimes on answers. I'm gonna go with Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping I could stump him, but I did not stump Mike
Damn
Casano. It is the University of Florida.
Yo.
Damn it, Mike. You and your stupid gut.
Was it back to Mike now? No.
Yes, I
You
get
guys
to
got
ask,
each other.
I get to ask another question.
Coach Idris, take us away with yours, man.
All right, bet. I got a basketball one, obviously.
Yes, sir.
How many father-son duos has LeBron James faced in his career?
Oh, I saw this before.
Let's get it. All right. A, 7. B, 4. C, 9. D, 10.
7.
Damn it, Mike.
7.
That's a favorite number.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Somehow I think it's 4. I don't know why I said 7. You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna go 4 because I want to beat Mike. 4.
Okay. So everybody said it?
Yeah.
So they're
2
7
sevens
and I'm
and
4.
2, 7, and 4. All right.
Yeah.
I've successfully stumped everybody.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
9.
9. It's
Yeah.
9.
9.
Yeah, 9.
Damn.
I know that the latest one was homeboy out in Houston, right? That played for Auburn
Jabari
last
Smith,
year.
yeah.
Jabari Smith.
Is that,
Both Gary Paytons.
yeah, both guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one.
Hardaways.
Hardways.
No.
Senior not play?
No, he wasn't on the Heat at that point. He retired long.
Damn.
Damn.
He didn't play both Currys, did he?
No.
Dell was out, right?
I think Glenn Rice maybe was
The
I was
Rices?
gonna say Brunson, Jalen Brunson, but I'm
Yeah,
Oh, I
not.
forgot about his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe Devin Booker too, or I don't know,
Possibly.
maybe. Nah, that might be too far.
Yeah.
That might be too far.
It's interesting though that he's played 9 father-sons.
Yes. That's incredible. His career has got to that
Old
stat.
man.
That's insane.
That's a
All
lot.
right.
My turn. All right.
What's the points looking like right now?
So Jamie and Mike are at 0. Idris is at -4, and I'm out in the C at -6. So Idris can still tie it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can. He can still
If Jamie
tie
and
it.
I get it wrong and he gets it right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all right. So who is the only
Going down, Mike.
3-time most outstanding player of the Final Four?
I know this.
Damn it. Bill Russell, Bill Walton, Christian Leitner, or Kareem?
Wait, can you say the question one more time?
Yeah. Who is the only 3-time most outstanding player of the Final Four?
3-time.
Bill Russell, Bill Walton, Christian Leitner, Kareem.
Well, conventional wisdom would probably say it's Kareem, but that's not what I'm guessing yet because they won so many national championships. You'd think he would be in there.
He was mediocre.
Yeah, not that great a player. Not that great a player at all. Now that Lou Alcindor guy,
Yeah, he was
he
great.
was good. He was amazing.
What was his name at UCLA?
Yeah, it was.
Whose name? Lou Alcindor's the greatest. Jamie, don't sit there all being me when there's a big.
I know, right?
Only I get to do that.
Yeah, I'm going Kareem.
Oh,
I'm going
see,
Kareem. I'm going Kareem. I was about to say Bill Walton, but they was on the same team.
I know. So Kareem, and we're counting him as Lou Alcindor, right? We're not doing a thing where it's like,
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
I figured, but
I'm not that intelligent.
Kareem. Well, technically, it would have been Kareem, except Kareem,
Not the
Bill
breakdown.
Walton, Leitner, or
All right, Mike.
Bill Russell.
San Francisco's very own Bill Russell.
Very own Bill Russell. You know what? I think because it was mentioned last week, that's one of the reasons why this comes up. I'm going to go with Christian Laettner.
Okay.
Christian
I'm probably
Laettner.
wrong, but
No, you're not wrong.
Jamie?
So you have to think, right? Duke did go to 3 straight Final Fours. They lost to UNLV and they went back to back.
yeah.
And Laettner stayed all 4 years.
Yeah.
Walton was injured while he was at UCLA for one of those runs, even though they won a lot of games there. I'm unfortunately going to have to say a name I don't like saying coming out of my mouth is Christian Laettner.
Okay, so Mike and Jamie say Christian Laettner, and Idris says Kareem. I have successfully stumped Mike and Jamie. It is Kareem.
Let's go.
Oh, we have a 3-way tie.
I thought it was Christian. I really thought it was
Light it
Laettner.
up, baby.
All right. And I get 2 points.
You
No,
look at Kareem's career stats.
I
You
got
know,
something for you
looking
guys.
at Kareem's career stats, if you say the only player and he's in the conversation, you should probably go Kareem.
Right.
Right.
That's why I was like, if I say somebody else and it ends up being him, I'm gonna be mad at myself. Like,
Yeah.
By the way, guys, Mr. Cinco, Trey, has provided us the list of father-son duos.
Oh, nice.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, word.
Perfect.
So while are you looking for one, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tie between all three of you. I have to.
Right. So I'll read the list while you're looking.
Okay.
So both Kenyon Martins,
There
Yeah.
we go.
Oh, I forgot about that.
both Gary Trents,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
both Peytons,
Yeah.
both Brunsons.
Okay.
One I forgot, both Glenn Robinsons,
Glenn Robinson. I said Glenn Rice. It's Glenn Robinson.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Glenn Robinson.
both Adrian Griffins,
Yeah. Okay.
both Glenn Rices,
Okay. So they were there.
Right. Yeah.
both Jabari Smiths, and Samaki and Jabari Walker.
Oh, wow.
What? Damn.
Yeah, apparently. I did not know Jabari Walker's dad played. That's how young I am.
Yo, I did want to throw this in there because I looked it up.
Yeah.
It was a question like, are there any father-son duos that are in the Professional Sports Hall of Fame, and how many? That was something that I looked up, but like I didn't know.
That is interesing.
Yeah.
In
Is
the
there a
Hall of
lot?
Fame for professional sports.
The
In
Griffies,
all?
I know, right? The Griffies are.
No, Griffey Sr. is not a Hall of Famer.
It's not.
Whoa.
Is
debatable.
Kobe
It's unblind.
is Kobe's dad in the Hall of Fame or no? He didn't get it
I think so. No,
because he was a good role player. I know that, but I didn't know.
overseas mainly though.
Yeah, he was a good overseas player for sure.
Yeah, but I know it's the world basketball, not the. I always get confused in that. Like if we're
as
counting
far as
that,
it's- right, international.
I don't
players.
think there's any though because I couldn't
No.
find
Peyton and Archie. I mean, we're thinking only basketball. Are we thinking football?
Archie is not. I don't think Archie's a Hall of
No?
Famer.
football. Nah, but I
That's the
thought
thing.
it would be one or
Yeah. Like
also,
Archie, like Archie Manning and Ken Griffey Sr. both are in like their halls of very good. If there
Okay.
were
Yeah.
one,
Yeah,
like they just close.
just missed it.
Right. They there pretty much.
Right.
Alrighty.
Griffey Sr. maybe. Griffey Sr. maybe should get in.
so I have my answer.
Okay.
So
God, 3-way tie.
Co- Coach K holds the record
Oh,
for most tournament game. Is that wait? You know the answer?
No, you actually
no, it's just the fact that it's Coach K.
Yeah, Coach K question. Go on, go for it.
Holds the record for most wins in the NCAA tournament. How many wins does he hold?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why would I know this? I
Jeez.
hate the team. In the
Hold
NCAA
on.
tournament.
And how it works is closest one obviously wins.
Are we doing prices right where it's close without going over or just close? Like if we go over by a little bit, does it still?
Yeah, whoever's closest.
to it,
Okay,
right?
How many years did he coach at that?
Yeah. Too many, bro.
Like but I'm trying to
We saw like 4 different weight classes from him, so I don't know.
you know.
Also, what has to be taken into account is did he go to the tournament with Army at any point?
If he took Army, man,
I mean, would you be surprised if Coach K
No.
was the one to take
Not at
Army?
all.
no.
Not
If
one bit.
anybody was going to take Army to the tournament
I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
in those days, I think it was still only conference winners when he was there until they made the shift.
until auto
Like
bids
at large,
or
yeah.
at large bids. This is a number that's standing out to me.
Mhm.
No, because that's too high. Is it too high? I don't know if it's too high.
I was about to say something that was crazy. It's not that. It was way too high.
Well, let's see. It's a good one. It's a good question.
I'm gonna go 17.
Huh?
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, guess again. I'm telling you, it's much higher than that. Guess again.
He had 35 years at Duke.
I was gonna say he
40 years
Duke
at Duke
for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So my first answer is gonna be 31.
Okay, for some reason, I don't know why this number is ringing in my head, but I have a feeling he almost got to 100. So I'm going to say 97, 98.
Which one?
98.
Mike?
Yeah.
77.
And Idris, do you want to change your answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go for 51. Excuse my language.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's past
this is the podcast, not national TV.
We good. Not yet.
No, I mean, we'll get there. But
51.
So
he's writing it, and I'm not going to cheat by looking at the banners.
The winner of Stump the Squad is Jamie with week 52. It is 97 wins.
I
was like, when you said it,
I think I got it right.
When you said it, like I was like, how do you know that? And then when I'm sorry, Idris, when you said 17, I was like,
yeah, no, you looked at it like,
boy.
I was like, I can't give it away, so like,
damn, spot on 97. That's tough.
Well,
all right, Jamie.
He won 5 national championships, so that would be 30 at least, right? And I think he got to the Final Four. I want to say about 14 is almost a very high number, like over 12 times. So it's a lot of wins.
All right, Jamie, your rant of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Idris, first of all, for being here with us again. I love having you on the show. It's great energy every time you're here with us. Thank you for giving us your time, and I'm happy you get some time to wind down as well. I know what long, very emotional seasons are like, so congrats on your season. I really hope you guys continue to improve as a team. I would like to shout out a 16-year-old from Canada by the name of Summer McIntosh, who set a world record in the 400-meter freestyle at the Canadian Nationals as a 16-year-old. The reason I want to shout her out is she did an interview right afterwards and said, of course, it's an awesome feeling. Everybody wants to feel this, but, and this is a 16-year-old, keep in mind, I just focus on my training. I don't focus on when I'm supposed to be fast. I don't think that I need the rest. I mean, she speaks like a veteran. She said, when you're having fun and enjoying what you're doing, anything is possible. And she believes in herself more than almost any athlete on the planet right now in terms of what she's capable of. She swims right down the road from us at Sarasota. She swims with the Sarasota Sharks, one of the best programs in the country right now. We've had a chance to go down there and seen her in training. She's an absolute animal. The girl is something else, and she's going to make some real waves in Paris next year at the Olympics. So I'm telling you guys from now, get to know the name Summer McIntosh. You will see her quite a bit on the Olympic podium next year in Paris. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your coaches and your program and your family. Well done, Summer.
Definitely. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That name does sound familiar.
Jamie, for everyone that doesn't know, 16 is pretty much a normal age for someone to be an Olympic athlete for swimming, or no?
For girls, you kind of see that they start messing around like in their junior, going into their senior year. We've seen that before, but world record, that's big time. Like that is big time for her to already hit that. She had multiple world junior records, which she had just actually broke a lot of her own world junior records at a meet recently in Fort Lauderdale. That's crazy. So you knew she was swimming great, but for her to pull up at Canadian Nationals and just be like, guess what? I'm just going to break a world record now because I'm that good. It was remarkable. So Coach Brent is a product of Coach Troy out of Florida. Florida had one of the most successful programs in his time. He helped Coach Ryan Lochte. So he brought that knowledge into the Sarasota program, who had a rich history already. And so he's obviously done a remarkable job of letting her know, like, hey, guess what? Like, you have the attributes that I've seen through other past greats in this sport. And she chose the right spot. She moved from Canada and she put all her chips on the table and said, I think you're the right program for me. And it seems to be working out. So that's
awesome. That's really awesome. Shout out to her and shout out to all the because right now everyone's starting to tune up for the Olympics. So shout out to all of them. And Idris, could you imagine playing in the Olympics at 16?
And you're swimming at that, like,
Yeah.
you know what she knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what
knows
she's doing.
Well, and she's not that big. That's the thing. You think she's this big blonde? She's as normal, just a normal blonde girl. You couldn't even pick out a crowd. Shoulders are broad for sure. You're like, she got some broad shoulders, but she's just all heart, man. All heart.
And then there was Michael Phelps, who was in Sydney at 15, and he was already like 6 foot.
Yeah. Well, you see, he broke the mold for a lot of these kids to feel like,
100%.
of course I should be there at this age. Like, don't tell me when. I'll determine my future.
Right.
And that's what's awesome about it. She's just creating this future. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a great – that race, that 400 is going to be one of the most anticipated races. Ledecky, who's the greatest of all time as a female. This girl named Ariana Titmus from Australia, who is
she's great,
unbelievable. And now Summer's like, guess what, girls? In case you didn't think, my name should be on that gold medal and not just you two. It's just going to be, it could be something where the three of them are coming in together. And it's like, who's it going to be sort of thing. It's going to be awesome.
That's crazy.
16. Well, will she still be 16?
She'll be 17 by then.
She'll be 17.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. Ledecky, I think Ledecky will be 27, maybe 28. She'll be 17. And Ariana Titmus will be somewhere in that 23, 24 range. So it's going to be fun.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
she's going to be. She'll be a high school senior swimming against either pros or like college juniors and seniors.
Yep. Very much so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, boys, thank you, Idris, for joining us. You know, we told you a year ago we'll have you back on. I know it took a year, but they're very thankful for having you on. And, you know, if you're in Tampa at the end of the month, we have our first live show at Maloney Sports Bar.
Shout out Maloney's. I appreciate you guys, man. It's always a great time, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all consistent, man. And that's the biggest thing. You know, great things are ahead. And again, I appreciate you guys for having me on here.
Definitely. We're definitely going to have you soon when you're in the NBA. So
for sure. Let's do it. We're going to be on national TV. We can't curse. We ain't going to be able to curse. You know?
We can curse. All right, brother. Have a great night. And anybody else have some final thoughts?
Let's go Cinderella. I know I picked San Diego State, but let's go Cinderella. Baby.
Fly out, fly.
Give me
that Hurricanes.
No.
I hope they just give them a run for their money. The winner of that San Diego State game, that game, the winner of that, give them a run for their money down to the wire. Let's do it.
The Hurricane cannot stop the beating wings of the owl.
Well, everyone, tune in next week. We have Dan Maceman, the GM of the Rochester Red Wings, coming on. So tune in next week. We can't wait to. Idris, thank you again. And Cinco Squad out.